Are you a fan of 80s horror but want something different? Do you like modern horror but the regular magazines leave you a bit cold? Are you a fan of that schlocky horror that no one else seems to talk about? Check out Necronomicon, the UK horror zine from Etsy.com. Just search for Necroneil.
There's a super strong connection here. Right. Oh my God!
Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Welcome to Beyond Authentic Witchcraft. My name is Lisa. If you are new here, this is how today works. We are doing some free tarot readings. If you would like a free reading, then all you have to do is be here on the live stream. You hit the subscribe button because that's how you have to be a subscriber to be able to chat. So it takes at least 5 minutes after you've hit the subscribe button for the first time to be able to put a comment into the live chat. So make sure you go ahead and hit the subscribe button now. And then in a few minutes, I'm going to open up the list. And basically what we'll do is everybody that's in the live, if you would like a reading, start your question with the word question, stick it in the live, and then I will grab one of those at random and we will do the first reading. And we'll go like that throughout the night. Basically throughout all the way through until 9 o'clock when we finish. I've got a couple of really interesting decks here. I've also got the Light Seers deck on standby as well. Let's have a look at who we've got in the live. By the way, do I look a little bit dark today? I can't work out my lighting. Hang on a second. I'll tell you what. So just in case you haven't quite figured it out, this is how you get a reading. Yes, indeed. Hopefully that's a bit better. I'd look a little bit brighter. So then over at buymeacoffee.com/Beyond Authentic, just up there, that is where you need to go. If you would like to guarantee that you get a reading either in the stream or that you get a reading now, then go across here and go and hit the little button. There's a queue jump option that will get you, not only will it guarantee that your reading is the next one that I do or the first one that I do in this instance, but it will also basically give you a longer reading. So I will do you a 6 or 7 card reading for that same queue jump, just as a way of thanking you. Don't forget, members, you can join a membership over there where you do get videos at least a day early. And also I'm working on some content at the moment that is going to be exclusive to members. So yeah, that should be interesting. And members also get a discount on everything booked over there. So if you would like to book a private tarot reading, that's also the place to go. Members get a discount and on queue jumps and on everything. So yeah, and also don't forget, every single payment I get, whether it's for a private reading, whether it's for, you know, a queue jump, whatever it's for, a 3-card reading, or if you want to book me for a one-on-one live hour-long live session where we talk and chat, 10% of any money that I make from doing the tarot will go directly to Bladder Cancer UK, and another 10% will go to Fight Bladder Cancer. So there's 2 bladder cancer charities that helped me out last year. So both of those get 10% of everything before anything else gets taken off the top. So yes. Hopefully that's said all the business stuff. Oh no, I've got to say as well, beginning of the stream, if this is your first time here, please remember that tarot is for entertainment purposes only. You do make all of your own decisions about your own life. Tarot should never be used to replace medical advice, legal advice, financial advice, or counseling advice. If you're looking for support in those areas, please do seek out professionals in those areas. I may have some skills in some of those areas, but I am not a professional. So if you're wanting professional medical, legal, financial, counseling advice, go and seek out professionals. That's definitely not me. Right then, let's have a look at who is here in the live chat. Wow, there's loads of people. Flower Beauty, good evening to you. Namaste, Flower Beauty. Vonnie Gallagher, hello, Vonnie. Kia One, good evening to Kia. Ed's here, good evening, Ed. Ed says, hello, all. If you don't know why that we say it like that, it's a secret. I'm like never going to tell you. No, well, I'm still not going to tell you. Sorry, that's really bad, isn't it? It's a bit like when you say, find out next week. Nanette's here. Nanette's Necessities, Witching Entertainment, Hideout. Blue Chalice, Holland is here. Patricia's here. I think I've said Patricia already. Yeah, Patricia is here. Who else have we got on the live? Rabina, good evening, Rabina. Rabina Sahons is here. Holland's asking, who's feeling a bit hot and bothered? You've had the fan going all day there in Donny. Wow, it's been very warm here today, I've got to say. We went to the booty. No sunburn today, but we did have lots of Frylight. No, sun spray. Lots of I think we were factor 30 we covered ourselves up. It's very hot in India. Yeah, well, you win, Flower Beauty. You absolutely win the prize of, oh my god, it's hot. I could not cope. It's nice in Coventry. Put in the chat, wherever you are in the world right now, put what the weather's been like today, if it's later in the evening, or what the weather's like now, if it's in the afternoon. Let me know, because it sounds absolutely like it's basically because I'm nosy. So yeah, let me know. You missed the coffee and makeup. Will there be a comeback? Quite probably at some point, yes, because we're starting to do the Slimming World again. So yes, there will be, and we'll do a whole catch up and thing over there. So yes, absolutely, there will be, Rabina. I don't know when. I would say this week, but we've got a stupidly hectic week planned at the moment, so maybe not. But soon, keep an eye out for it. Keep your subscription on that channel, and it will ding your bell. So yeah, it will let you know. I know, right? You've got asthma, so you don't like this weather because it's hot. Is it hot where you are then, Nanette? Where? Because I don't know, because America's huge, and some parts of America are chilly, and some parts of America are like, whoa. I've got yours, Nanette. You're on the list. Don't worry. I've got yours. Liz is here. Hello, love. Hello, Liz. I hope you are well. Didn't know they did factor 50 in Frylight. No, it's garlic Frylight. That's what you've got. It's hot in Pakistan too at 11:08. Wow. Oh, I couldn't. Too hot. Shivani Radhakrishnan's here. Good evening, Shivani. Kia One, nice weather here in Sweden. Not too hot. You see, now that's nice. That sounds nice to me. Sweden sounds nice to me. Sweden, the Netherlands, that whole sort of region. Yeah, that all sounds really nice to me. It really does. This is where you're going to say, what the hell are you talking about, Lisa? Sweden and the Netherlands are like completely different areas. You're talking out of your backside. Are you thick? And the answer will be yes. So we had a conversation, me and Rufus, yesterday, and we were talking about how when he was at school, he loved geography. He loved it. And I was like, I only know that London is south because I lived further south, and everyone thinks I'm from London, even though I'm further south. So yeah. Oh yeah, can we all come to Sweden? Yes, let's move to Sweden. Rufus, we're moving to Sweden. He says it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Everyone move to Sweden. Right, we'll be there next week. It's what? 34 degrees Is that in Celsius or Fahrenheit? At 2:10 p.m. I don't know. See, this is it. I've opened a can of worms now because you're all going to put like, oh, it's 50 degrees. And I'll go, oh, that sounds, I would be dead. And then you go, oh, it's Fahrenheit. And I go, is that a lot? I know. Well, Patricia, you see, you would be the contrary one, wouldn't you? All the rest of us are here going, bloody hell, we're roasted. Oh, I can't breathe. Patricia's like, oh, I'm loving it. It's not very warm. Wait for the sun to come out. Oh, you're a sun baby, aren't you? Whereas I am a lunar baby. I prefer to be in the dark of the moon. But yes. Anyway, now we've firmly established all of that. Let's get cracking with the knacking. So we are 11 minutes into the stream, and yeah, I've got 2 decks on the go today, so I'm going to pick and choose them at random. If you would like a tarot reading, so first of all, a couple of things you need to know about me. I am ADHD or ADD, whatever that is, right? My brain doesn't function the way other people's brains function. It gives me wonderful skills, like I'm able to multitask and think about 3 million things at once. However, it also means any one of those 3 million things can possibly distract me. So I go off on a tangent. So because of that, my moderators are the most wonderful team on the YouTubes. Okay, so my moderators have got full authority to kick people, ban people, put people on the wait list, and make somebody have a reading immediately, even though it's not a queue job. They've got full power to do whatever they want, because when I'm doing my readings, I don't have the live chat up, because if I do, somebody will put a comment in. It's normally Ed, even though he's a moderator and should know better. He'll say something like, oh bloody, and I'll see that in the chat, and I'll be going, yes, and as you can see, the 2 of Pentacles here is a really interesting card, and I'll see Obladi, and I'll go, it's a really interesting card, Obladi, Oblada, life goes on, oh, la, la, how the life goes on, Obladi, and then I'm off on a tangent. So because of that, the chat is off limits for me when I'm reading, so I won't see any of your comments, but I will come back to it after I've done the bulk of the reading to then see whether you've confirmed. Also, the way I read is after nearly 28 years of experience with the cards, which is scary because I'm only 30 years old now. Can I pull that off? I was looking at the grey hairs here earlier, and I was thinking, yeah, I need to get the hair dye out again. But anyway, so I've been reading for 28 years. My relationship with the cards is very different, and I use the elemental energies that I refer to as my dragons. I use those energies to basically relay information through the cards, through what I believe is the Akashic record. So it's a whole bank of knowledge of everything in our lives, everything that ever has, will be, or could be. And that's where they come from. So yeah, hopefully that all makes sense. I don't know. 34 degrees Celsius. Wow, Nanette. 94 Fahrenheit. Bloody hell, that's a lot. That's a lot. Wowza. As a side note, it's always a good idea to have a top on while eating beans on toast. Yes, Ez. I agree. Yes, do please wear clothes if you are eating beans or spaghetti, because it all falls down you. So yes, that's probably a good idea. You've just had to wipe bean juice off your fur. Well, it's not my fault. It's not my fault that you look like Chewbacca when you take your t-shirt off, Ed, and then you decide to have a plate of beans. That is not my fault. You know, you'd think you would know that by now, my friends. But anyway, right, let's crack on with some readings. If you're new here, this is the sort of vibe we go for, okay? This is how we do it on this channel. It's tarot without the fluffy bits. And what I mean by that is I'll give you the answers you need, but it won't very often be there may be the answers that you want, okay? I will give you the answers you need. Now, because of that, I do get quite intense sometimes with the tarot cards. So if you are going through something you don't want your neighbors or anybody else knowing about, you can always book a private reading over here, because there's been times where I will say something and we delve into a question, we delve in a little bit deep, and then that is out there on the interwebs forever. So if you would rather keep your privacy, go over there and book one. Right then, let's crack on with some readings then. Let's open the round. If you would like a tarot reading, please start your question. I'm changing the banner now. Please start your question with the word question. Put that into the live chat now. I'm going to pick one at random. And don't forget, you can guarantee your reading will be picked, and you can guarantee that you'll be the next one up by going over here and booking there. So don't forget, everybody, there's lots of ways to get readings. There's lots of ways to get them in. But if you would like a reading now live for free, do put it into the live chat, starting with the word question. That's really important so that I can see it and I can flag it. So yeah, and this is, if you don't know how, this is how to get a reading. Yes, indeed. Don't forget, everybody, there has been, I mean, you know what, everyone knows what the internet's like, right? You know what the internet's like. The internet is always going to internet. But there's been a lot of scandal linked to this account this week.
YouTube tarot reader Lisa Lee has been found using bad language during her twice-weekly live streams. In a shocking turn of events, it has also been discovered that she will not tell you what you want to hear, only what you need to know. The internet is in collective shock that authenticity is alive and well in this corner of the YouTube meta space. Do not watch if you are easily offended.
Absolutely. As it says, I have been known to use a few of the cursey words. So if that doesn't float your boat or tickle your pickle, it's best that you leave the fucking channel now, because unfortunately, those sort of words might fall out of my mouth. I don't swear very often, but when I fucking do, you can believe it's going to be a good one, if you know what I mean. So you probably won't even pick up on me swearing at all throughout the feed today, throughout today's live stream. But just in case, occasionally, maybe I will. It's all right. It's all right, Holland. I promised Nanette a reading on the other one, so I'll go and get something to eat, Nanette, and when you come back, we'll sort you out then. So then, I think it was Kia 1 that I saw first when I just randomly jumped back onto the chat thing. So Kia 1, you are going to be the first cab off the rank. So Kia 1, your question is coming up straight after this. Right, we'll pause the ticker tape. So wait for that little purple crawler at the bottom of the screen. Once that comes up again, it's time to get your questions in, and then we'll try and get your reading up. So then, Kia, my darling, Kia 1, question: what is our, Pisces, thought and feelings towards me? We are dating. Well, hopefully they're positive. You know what I mean? Hopefully they're positive, but we will do that. We'll have a look at that for you. So then, Dragons, the elemental energies, good evening. And I've got a reading here for Kia 1. Now, Kia would like to know, what is R's thoughts and feelings towards me? Just for context, Dragons, Kia and R are actually dating. They are dating, and R is a Pisces. So I don't know if that helps. I still don't understand astrology. It's something, after all these years of being within the witchy type communities, I think that ship has passed, or that starship has flown way beyond the stars for me to do astrology. So, yeah, right. I think it doesn't look like we've got any cards jumping or flipping, so we don't have a modifier for you, my darling. I just realised you can't see me shuffling them, but there we go. Right, so let's switch to the card cam, and I will do your reading. So let's have a look then, Kia 1. I'm going to do your drop on camera. There we go. So this is what I call the drop. It's just basically how it cuts. And it does, when I'm reading for myself, it actually tells me lots of information. So if I'm not sure of something and the drop kind of staggers, so it kind of goes in multiple places, that will tell me something. Yours just dropped like literally right in the middle of the deck. So that's always a good sign, because it basically means that the cards are quite sure of what the reading is for you. So let's have a look then. So what are R's feelings towards Kia? Here we go. Oh, so then you are dating. So we've got lots and lots of. Is that light on? No, it's not. We've got lots and lots of royalty. So we've got the Knight of Cups. Now, Cups is your emotional suit. This is in the past position. So Cups is the emotional suit, and that's actually a decent enough card to have here. So Cups is emotions, and this is talking about there being quite a lot of young energy about this Kia. Now I'm not saying that you know, as a child or anything like that, but what I mean by this is this is like intense. Do you know what I mean? It's like the feelings when the nights come up, they are the sort of, they're the teenage, it's the teenager type energy. You know, when you're like you're 15, 16, 17, and you love somebody with all your heart, you absolutely just love and love and love them, and you know, things may or may not work out, but that energy when you're that young, it's so intense and it's real. Even if it kind of is a passing, you know, a passing obsession or a passing fad, it doesn't necessarily feel the same as when you're 40. You know what I mean? So this night energy is all about that. So it's that very young, youthful energy, which is, you know, it's a good energy to have if you get my meaning. I don't have getting jiggy with it on here anymore, but imagine that I had the music for getting jiggy with it. Do getting jiggy with it. Yeah, so it's got a positive physical attraction element, put it that way, and quite a lot of, you know, good sexual energy. But what you've also got with the Knight is they've got that rebellious energy of, they think they are always in the right and they always think they're going to do things their way, and also they are very hard to kind of knock off track. Once they've decided they're going off on horseback at full gallop, that's where they go. So I've got a very strong feeling that in the past there was a lot of loviness. Probably if you've moved past the kind of holding hands and kissing stage, if you've moved into the physical elements of the relationship, then I imagine there's a lot of passionate energy there, because the Knights bring that sort of very fiery, very passionate energy. We've also got the King of Wands, which is interesting because, again, we're talking about how does R feel towards you, my darling. And again, I don't know anybody's gender, but the King of Wands, it doesn't necessarily have to be a male energy with this card, but it's an authority energy. And Wands is all about security, confidence, how you know yourself, how you feel yourself, your identity, all of that. It's all of those good things. And so this feels very much like R is kind of quite happy within the relationship and also feels quite settled. I don't know how long you've been dating for, but this is the sort of card that would come up after you've been dating maybe for a little while and things are progressing. So you've got, you know, we start with quite a passionate card, a little bit fiery temperament maybe, or a little bit of a fiery kind of, that passion spark is here. Then we move into more of a, you know, longer term connection with the King energy, with that sort of, you know, longer term planning, longer term thinking. And then we've got in the future, we've got the King of Pentacles. So this is about security and, you know, longer. Hang on, I just realized the camera's at a really weird angle. There you go. This one's about, hang on, have I just moved that the wrong way? No, I've done it. It's fine. There we go. So this is about the passion. This is about the longer standing kind of connection and that deeper kind of understanding that almost it's like you're becoming one entity. Does that make sense? It's like, it's almost like, you know how when you get a famous husband and wife, like if the husband is famous on his own, then the wife is just, you know, George Clooney's wife. Although that's not a good example because she's really famous as well. But you know what I mean? It's just like the wife. You've been dating for 2 months. That's not too long, but it seems that R is quite comfortable in this. R feels really quite at home. This King energy is here, but also we've got King energy coming up with the Pentacles as well. Now this was reversed, so there's a slight element here of, I think there could be a little bit about who, not so much who wears the trousers, but who gets the final say, because we've got two King energy cards coming up. But this one is reversed. So we've got that slight push me, pull you between confidence and security and work. So it does feel like there's a bit of a conflict, maybe a minor conflict between sort of the work love life, if that makes sense. So I don't know whether there's some limits on the time that you can spend together, or whether there's some limits on, you know, how you go about these things. But it definitely feels like there's a bit of a conflict to come. It doesn't feel major, as I say. It doesn't feel like there's an almighty collapse. This isn't a sword card, it is a pentacle card, but it does feel like there's a little bit of either there's going to be a financial element to the relationship that gets a little bit complicated, or there is a work element with the king. So with these two kings kind of coming together, there is a work element that is somehow going to cause not huge problems, but some questions moving forward that you need to overcome. Hopefully that makes sense, Kirwan. It looks like, in all honesty, it looks like for a relationship that's only 2 months old, you've got this sort of passion element coming in, and you've got this king card coming through here. There's no lovers cards, there's no, you know, twos, so there's nothing to say this is long term in the cards, but it definitely feels like R is quite stable, because the wands is all about that real sense of stability, and certainly with the kings. So I think R's quite comfortable, you know, in this relationship, and feels quite at home with you in a very sort of in an ongoing way. But yeah, there's definitely some money elements here. You have more. Hang on 1 second, I can't read that. Hang on, let me jump to the other dude. There we go. What have you said? Hang on the chat. Makes sense. You've got a more secure job and economy, and think it affects his confidence. It could do, because again, if he's bringing that king energy, then the king should be the one, you know, the king is in the counting house counting all his money, you know what I mean? So that's quite an ingrained thing in a lot of men, is that they should be the ones to, you know, pay their way and to be in charge of the money. And so if you've got, you know, for yourself, if you're coming in, even if that isn't fully equal, even if it is equal, that can sometimes be problems, depending on the sort of, you know, on the relationship you've got. But it doesn't look bad. It doesn't look bad, Kia One. It honestly doesn't. It looks like it'll be okay longer term. It doesn't feel like there's nothing here saying that you're definitely going to get married, or there's definitely going to be kids or anything like that. There's nothing here saying that at this point. But then again, it's only been a couple of months. But that night energy feels very good. So yeah, and normally the nights can be a bit tricky, but this night feels like he's playing ball, if that makes sense. Thank you very much for your question. Right, I'm going to go to Nanette next. So if you're waiting for a reading, go ahead and once I've done Nanette's reading, go ahead and put your question into the live chat, and I will do that for you in a second. So then, Nanette, my darling. Oh, Wolf Boy is here. I was just about to switch off the chat then. Hey guys, sorry I'm late joining, been out of it all day. Oh, I hope you're okay. How's Bolto? Hope Bolto's okay. Oh, who have we got? Our Peter. You're asking questions. Just hang on in there 1 second, my darling. I'm going to do another reading for our lovely Nanette, and then I will get to everybody else. Okay. Nanette has already Q jumped. If you're asking how Nanette can get a reading straight off, it's because she's already done the Q jumpy thing over on our pre-live live, because Nanette's one of our members. She basically, oh yeah, look, if you're liking the stream. Oh, thank you, Nanette. Go ahead and do the thumbs uppy thing. That'll be really lovely. I know, right? And in fact, let's have a like spike. A like spike would be bloody glorious right now. Glorious. I'm not going to sing. Nobody wants to hear me sing. Absolutely not. Right. Don't forget, though. Say again, love. Yeah, you just said, or something like that. He has to put up with it all the bloody time. So yes, Nanette has Q jumped over at over here because she's one of our lovely members, and I offered a reading, and Nanette would like a reading, so that's what I'm going to do. If you would like a Q jump and the ability to do all things, you can do it all over here. So our membership and everything. Right then, Nanette, you're after a general reading. So I'm going to go ahead. I've got card cam here. Look, this one keeps drooping. I've got a droopy card cam. Has anybody got metallic Viagra for this? You know what I mean? For the droopy arm. Anyway, shut up, Lisa. Let's just do the readings. So then, dragons, our lovely Nanette would like a reading. There we go. Why is this camera? This camera's Dragons, Nanette would like a reading. We're doing a general reading for Nanette, please. Belinda Chapman's here. I was just about to switch off as well. Belinda, good evening. I was just about to switch out of the chat. Good evening, Belinda. I hope you are well. Balto's doing well, says Wolf Boyo. He's been doing so much better recently, full of energy and everything. I'm just not coping in the heat. It's 25 degrees in Worcester. Good Lord, that's hot. That's very right. Don't get distracted, Lisa. Yes, it's hot. We've had that discussion. It's very warm. I hope you're well, Belinda. It's lovely to see you, my darling. I'm gonna crack on with a reading now for our lovely Nanette. Right then, Nanette, let me entertain you. See, what did I say? Everybody that's new here, what did I say at the beginning? My brain ADHDing all the blooming time. Right, there we go. That's what I wanted to do. Look. Have that in the center and the camera there. That's what I wanted. Right. So then, Nanette, my darling, you're like a... Oh, wow. Right. Okay. Thank you, Wispy, my friend. You've just sent a card flying. Hang on. I've got to go all the way down here. I know, right? I'm under the camera. That's how far. I had to go right under the table. So this is the card that's just flown everywhere, and it actually was on the blue side when it came up. So this would be like the equivalent of the reverse side. So then this is the 4 of Wands, Nanette, from your favorite deck that you've just bought, the vice versa. Right. So before we go into anything, this is your clarifying card. So I'm going to cut your deck there as always. Oops. There we go. So we've got the oh no, these are the backs, remember, Lisa, because it's a double-sided card. So this is what we've got going on for Nanette. I'll tell you what, we'll do the full 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. Right then, let's have a little look-see. So don't forget, if you would like a reading, if you can get a full 7-card reading, the standard horseshoe reading, if you come across over to buymeacoffee.com/Beyond Authentic and Q Jump, just like Nanette has done. So, oh, excuse me, I'm coughing. Right, Nanette, let's have a look at this. I know you can't quite see all the cards because this camera, if I move it too far up, it doesn't, you can't really see. There you go. It's a little bit clearer, I guess. Right then, so let's turn off the chat. There we go. So in the past position, we got the Knight of Cups. So this is, again, we had the Knight of Cups coming up. You can see the different deck. Look at this. So this Knight of Cups is talking again about passion, about feelings, about romance, friendship, all of those good, positive feelings. And the Knight is that rebellious energy, as I say. But this feels very different to this. This is a lot colder. This feels like it's a more positive romance element. So I think this is talking about very much a previous relationship, Nanette. And the fact that the Knight has come up indicating this previous relationship means that for me, it kind of almost feels like things didn't go great, if that makes sense. Things didn't, maybe things didn't end great. As I've always said, and you know this because you've been here plenty of times, the Knight energy is that rebellious teenage energy. So this is coming up in your love field in the past. It feels very much like the last relationship ended because of that sort of that rebellious streak, that sort of stubborn streak, if that makes sense. Right, do bear with me. I just need to take a slurp of my drink. Sorry about that. I'll always try and mute it so anybody with misophonia isn't actually affected. It ended bad. Yeah, this energy coming up in this position with the cup element, it really does say that. It feels. Do you know what I want to say, Nanette? In all honesty, do you know what I want to say? He was a bullshitter. He was a bullshitter. That's what it was. He was like this just looks like a guy that's a snake oil salesman. You know what I mean? It's like he's going, look here, look at this lovely cup. I'll give you my cup. You're the only person I'll ever give my cup to. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Look at my lovely horse. Isn't it lovely and white? And you go, yes, oh yes. And then it turns out this is like, instead of it being a single cup that he spent ages on and it's really expensive, he's like, yes, I get these shipped to me from China. I get them by, I get 200 each time, and I give them to as many women as I can. It's that sort of vibe, you know what I mean? In the present, we've got temperance. So whatever you're going through at the moment, Nanette, it's very, you're needing to take a middle way. So whatever's going on, my darling, there's something happening where it feels like you're having to negotiate, and you're having to try and find a diplomatic solution. Do you know what I mean? So temperance is all about literally pouring oil on angry waters, or whatever the phrase is, and it's about calming. It's about like cooling down the situation. It's about cooler heads prevailing, all of these lovely words, right? But tempering something, where the word comes from, is about hardening. It's about taking steel, putting it into a flame, heating it up, putting it in water, heating it, and making it, you make something a lot harder and tougher than it actually was at the beginning. And you do this in that particular way, and it makes something better and other than it was, if that makes sense. So this coming in with this temperance card is talking about, this isn't just you finding a solution through a problem. This is talking about you finding a solution that makes you tougher, that makes you harder, that makes you stronger, if you like, out the other side of it. So whether this is still about this romance and this relationship, I don't know how long ago it was, Nanette. It doesn't feel like it was hundreds of years, not hundreds of years, but you know what I mean. It doesn't feel like it was a long time ago, but it also doesn't feel like it was in the last couple of months. You know what I mean? It feels like it's a little while back, but it's still unresolved, because there's stuff here saying that you need to find this peaceful way through, particularly because this is your influence position, and we've got the Ace of Cups. So the Ace of Cups is now coming up. And again, I love this fountain. But you've got the Ace of Cups. Now, the Ace is that new start, new beginning type energy. It's that new project. And Cups, again, is that romance card. Again, this side, much cooler. This side, really warm, loving. Is this dove or seagull or pigeon coming to take a crap on her head? Because that's what most of the statues get, isn't it? They all get crapped on. But in this instance, this coming up as your influence, what I think it's saying is that you want to find a way of starting a new relationship. You want to find a way of starting over, starting again, moving forward. And I think that that's a really positive idea. I think that's kind of where you are, like in your soul, in your heart right now. That's kind of what your influence is. You're like, right, I'm finally getting over, getting past, and now I'm looking at maybe not necessarily finding a new romance, but maybe just opening yourself back up to the possibility. And that's what this is saying. Now, in your obstacles position, we've got the Queen of Wands. So again, Wands is all about your sense of security and your confidence. And the Queen is that, that epitome of the boss ass bitch. It's that epitome of that femininity, and that's being in control and the boss of things and being the queen. And this is relating to your sense of self. So I think whatever happened here with this knight really rocked your confidence, because this is coming up in that obstacle position. And I think that for you, Nanette, I think your confidence has taken a massive knock, and I think that it's going to take a little bit of effort to build that back up, so that you do have a bit more of that strength and a bit more of that confidence, really, because it's all about being able to just say, this is who I am, this is where I am, this is what I'm doing. And this Queen of Wands, like this as an obstacle, just like, it's like you really need, look, I mean, the it's a nothing on the back. It's just the back of the throne. But this, Look how wonderful, vibrant this is. Look how, like, she's sat there very, very regally, very much she is in control. Like, look at the vibrant color. This is not somebody that's scared to be seen. This is not somebody that is worried about their appearance or worried about their position, their role. They are very, very sure of themselves. And this is what you need to bring in, I think. And the reason I'm saying that is because over all of this, your overriding card, your modifying card is the Four of Wands, which is talking about stability in your sense of self. So stability in your confidence and in your identity, and having that strong kind of connection is also potentially a romantic card. So there's definitely something here that I think it's either you're recognizing that it's time to heal, or the cards are now telling you it's time to heal and move on. So the awareness of others, how people see you. We've got the Five of Pentacles. Now, the Five of Pentacles is often a card depicted more like this. Excuse me, where somebody's left out in the snow, a beggar is left out in the snow, and it's about that feeling of change and about that feeling of, you know, things not being stable, and about things being you know, very transient in the moment. So people are kind of seeing you again, especially with this work element. So I think people seeing you as how can I put it, kind of like you're I mean, literally, look at this, right? They buried their head in the sands. They're avoiding things. They're not dealing with, you know, the lantern that's been cast aside. It's just over there. And yet they are in this position, this church where you've got this stained glass window. So you've got this element, this disconnect almost, because this is supposed to be a place of solace. This is supposed to be a place of comfort. And yet you've got this, you know, this appalling kind of effect of what's been going on, this real kind of, oh my god, I don't know where I'm going, I don't know what's going to happen, I don't know how I got here, I don't know why, you know, things have gone so badly. And so you've got all of this here. And I think that, again, I think that this is something that isn't necessarily true, but I think after this happened, it feels like you were, I think other people, right? Do you know what it is, Nanette? Right? I'm hedging because I know you now. I'm hedging what I'm trying to say. But somebody around you, right? Somebody around you thought that you were milking it, or that it was, you know, that you were, milking it. That you were basically moping around for too long, if that makes sense. Because this element of having your head in the hands, like, yes, it is a period of instability, and when relationships end, you expect a period of instability. But what this is, it's like, it's almost like people were saying to you, oh, just get over it, like, oh, just forget about it, just forget about him, just don't worry, move on, just don't worry about it. And actually at the time you were bloody heartbroken, and I don't think people realized how important the relationship was. And then when it all went bad, it's like they just wrote it off. It was just, oh, it's a nothing. But for you, it feels like this was actually a lot more important than people realized. And so, yeah, it's like, look, whoever these people are around you, this is not what was true. This is just how they perceived it. And again, we are never in control of how other people see us. Like, we just aren't. So that's one of those things that we always have to remember, that people can have any opinion about us that they want. We've just got to, you know, not let that affect who we are. So then the advice for you, or how you can move forward, we've got the Justice card. So basically what you have to do is you have to take your sword, chop off his bollocks, and then weigh them on the weighing scales to see which bollock weighed the most. That's what, no, I'm joking, don't do that, please don't do that. This is for entertainment purposes only. You make all your own decisions about your own life. I do not condone or recommend violence of any kind, but but it feels like there is some cosmic justice that hasn't happened. And this is where the advice is saying, now, it could be that there's a legal matter with this. It could be that there's something, again, another element to this card could be a financial element that's coming in. So there could be a money thing here somewhere. If there's anything where the law could be involved to help you, whether that is going after, somebody that conned you or whatever it is, or going after, you can't go out. Unfortunately, being an asshole isn't actually cause for being arrested. I know, right? But there is something here that's saying there is a legal element to this that you can use, and that maybe you should be looking at. And then finally, Nanette, we've got the star. So you've got, in this reading, you've got 3 of the major arcana cards. So quite a good shouty healy one. But so the star is talking about, for me, it's talking about that wishing on a star element, that finding goals, moving forward, and actually being able to move forward in a proper way. So it's talking about, it's talking about setting your goals. Like, this always makes me think of Dr. Manhattan. But this is talking about setting your goals, dreaming your dreams, and actually working towards it, and not just wishing on a star, because you wish on a star doesn't mean anything. But this card is talking about having that impetus and moving forward, and actually moving on towards something. This is like never-ending energy, water going into the water element in all of the cards where you ever see water is talking about your emotions, right? So the subtext here, we've got emotions. The subtext here, we've got emotions, right? So we've got all of this subtext built in. Obviously, the Ace of Cups is a water suit as well. So there's all of this going on, talking about your emotional well-being. But there's definitely something here where it feels like you need to be able to move beyond and see yourself in a better place, right? So definitely see yourself in a better position and head towards that, Nanette. That is what the cards are saying to you, my darling. I really hope that helped. Yeah, I really hope that helped, my darling. I really do. Let's go. Hang on. Let me change the camera and then click on the comments to see where the comments are. So let's have a look at the chat. There we go. He's very He very well could go to jail because he got in trouble, and the judge told him if he did anything out of line, he would serve the full term. So if he gets put in court, oh, so there is an option there. There is something there about the law. Well, maybe, my darling, maybe that's something you need to look at. You're right, and you're not talking to your family because of that. But there's more to it than them just saying get over it. Yeah, it feels like that. It really does. That 5 feels really cold. You can't see yourself trusting because you keep getting knocked down every time. Oh, my darling. You try to, but there's a part of you that wants to be with someone. Of course there is. Like that feeling of wanting to be with someone that gets us and understands us. That's an innate part of who we are. Of course that's going to be there. You wouldn't be human if you didn't feel the need for human companionship. You definitely had to do that, but you had to put your foot down and keeping it that way so no one's gonna do to you what he did ever again. Yeah, he was an arsehole. He was an arsehole, and I'm sorry that you've had to go through that, my darling. But yeah, absolutely. Like if you've that star card is really well suited for you to start moving forward and actually make plans for your wishes. Like, don't keep a wish as a wish, make it a goal, head towards that. If there's something your heart is telling you, head towards that. And in that process, do as much as you can to heal, do as much as you can to, if you've got to let it go, let it go. I'm not singing Disney, but there's also this element of, if there's an injustice and there is a legal thing that you can bring to help you get closure, then maybe that's something you need to look at. You have a feeling that you might already know someone you could be with. Oh, well, there you go then. If there's already somebody you're batting your eyelids at, miss, then you go for it, Miss Thing. Absolutely. You bat those eyelids, Nanette. You bat those eyelids, my darling. Absolutely. Well, I hope that helps, sweetheart. I really, really do. And thank you, as always, for being a member on the channel. And thank you very much for your question. Right then, it's time again. If you would like a question, please go ahead. I pressed the wrong button every time. Please go ahead now and put your question into the live chat, starting with the word question. I will then pick one of those at random. Don't forget, if you want to know a little bit clearer how to get a reading, just do what this says. Don't forget, if you've already asked a question, you do need to put it in the live chat again, because that way we know that the only people asking questions are the people that are here right now, because we have had weeks where we've had as much as 6 or 7 people ask questions at the beginning of the stream and not be here when their names come up, and it delays everything, and it means we could have got another 2 readings in that space of time that we're going, oh, are you here? Are you coming? Are you wanting? No, have you gone? Are you here? Oh no, you've gone. You know what I mean? So because of that, it's really important that you do put your question into the chat each time, and I'll pull one of those questions each time we do it. Don't forget, if you do want to guarantee your reading and a longer reading, as you just saw with Nanette, so a more detailed reading, then do please go to buymeacoffee.com/beyond authentic. I'll give you a couple more minutes. Well, no, I won't. I'll give you a couple more seconds to get your questions in before I click on the chat again and pick one of them at random. Right then, let's have a look in the comments. Let's have a look. I've got Shirley. Hang on. Oh, bloody I tell you, I'm getting old. I am getting old. I know it. By the way, if you are getting old, I don't know whether Belinda Chapman is still in the channel, but if you feel you are getting slightly older, right? If you are menopausal, Belinda Chapman in the chat has got a series running on the menopause, and it's been, as somebody who's trans who had to go through menopause and puberty at the same time, it's really interesting to me how other women and cis women go through it, and how it affects them. So it's been really interesting on some of them. I think it's the Menopause Diaries, isn't it? So yeah, have a little look see on Belinda's channel. It's Belinda Chapman. If you look at my channel description, it's just down. Ah, she's just put there, look. Oh no, still here and still menopausal. Yeah, so she's got the Menopause Diaries. Do go and check them out, because it is very, very interesting, and I'm sure that there's a lot of things that Belinda discusses that if you are getting a little bit older and getting to that menopausal point, or even a little bit along the way, there's a lot of help there. So if you've got questions, or if you just want to kind of, have a nosy how someone else deals with it, go and have a look at that on Belinda's channel. It's down in the description box, just down below. Right then. So then, Shirley, I can't read really without my specs. There we go. Oh, let me turn the ticker tape off. There we go. Question: may I please ask what are Dr. W's thoughts about me? Does he want to be more than friends one day? Ooh, a doctor. Yeah, Nanette, take some lessons. A doctor. Oh, yes. Oh, think of the BMW. I mean, think of the romance. Think of the BMWs. Think of the 8-bedroom, 8-bedroom, 4-bathroom houses. Oh, I'm going weak at the knees, Shirley. Oh my God. Right. Okay. Let's have a look then. So I'm going to grab the card cam. So then, dragons, Shirley would like to know, can I ask what are Dr. W's thoughts about me? What? Oh, he's a veterinarian. That's all right. That's all right. That's all right. You can have plastic surgery to look like a horse. It's fine. I've had it to look like an elephant. So, why not? veterinarians have they do. Oh, don't, because like veterinarians are very good, lovely people, but I couldn't do it. I couldn't. All those poorly animals. I couldn't. It'd break my heart every time. Anyway, right, let's do your reading. What am I doing? I'm swapping cameras. It's weird, isn't it? Because like if it's adult humans, I don't think I'd be that. Well, actually, it's a lie. I used to work in a nursing home. It used to get me then as well. So you know. That's just because I'm a soppy cow. If you want to know how much of a soppy cow I am, go and have a look on my channel. I've just done a video called Unboxing a Unique, I think it's called Unboxing a Unique Play Button, where I unboxed a YouTube play button that the amazing Holland from Blue Chalice made and sent to me. And there was a moment, there was a little weepy moment. So yeah, go and check that if you haven't seen it already. Patricia says you sailed through the change except for the weight gain. Your shape now resembles an apple. That's okay. Apple is a shape. What is going on with me shuffling these today? It's because I'm being distracted because I'm reading out the chat. Literally, it's what I was saying. Right, let's have a little look. See. Oh, Blue Chalice, your hubby talking speak of the devil. And they're sure to appear. Your hubby is a doctor, as in a PhD, and you live in a 2 up, 2 down. Well, that doesn't count. That just doesn't count. It's not a veterinarian. Right then. So dragons, Shirley wants to know, what does Dr. W want to be more than friends? Does Dr. W want to be more than friends? Right. There we go. We've got this bloody Knight of Cups. That's your clarifying card. So Knight of Cups. Cups is romance energy. So this looks interesting, Shirley. This looks interesting. Hang on. I didn't check over it on. Bear with. I'm just checking on Beyond Authentic. Buy me a coffee, Beyond Authentic. So yeah. This is romance energy, my darling. So this would seem to suggest that there is something going on here. And again, that Knight is that teenage rebellious energy. So there's a lot of really interesting vibes about this. But let's just have a look. So as soon as a card flips, we stop shuffling and then I go straight to your drop or your cut the deck. Oh, a double drop. The cards aren't sure. So whatever's going on, the cards are not entirely convinced yet. So bearing in mind, we've got your clarifying card there. This deck is a very thick deck. Right, all 3 cards are coming up reversed, which is interesting. So we've got, as you can see, we've got the 8 of Pentacles or the 8 of Coins. Now this is coming up in your in the sorry, I was about to say the past position, but it's not the past position. This is coming up in the situation today position. So this is kind of where you both are now, if that makes sense. And it came up reversed. So the 8 of Pentacles is it's about work and money, and it's about carrying on. But the thing is, this reversal is confusing me a little bit. Because basically what this is, right, look, what this is saying is, look, it's the 8, but there's still so much work to do. We're working so hard. Like, I can't even take a break. I'm just working on all these pentacles. Look how much work I've still got to do. I've got to make all these pentacles work, burning the candle at both ends. Really, 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 like there is a sort of workaholic type energy involved with this. So that is coming up here, if that makes sense. That is coming up here. So there's a lot happening, but because this is reversed, it feels almost like he's just all about his work to the exclusion of anything else. Does that make sense? And I don't think it's something that I don't think it's necessarily something that he is happy with because of the reversal. It's almost like all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. You know what I mean? It's almost like this element here. And it almost, I don't know, it almost feels like asking him out or asking him for a coffee, he might actually be just like, oh my God, thank God for that. Thank fuck, I can actually go out. I've got an excuse not to have my hand up a cow's backside, because all veterinarians are actually in 1950s England or 1930s England in All Creatures Great and Small. That is actually something. So yes. So then let's have a little look. This is the King of Cups. Sorry, there you go. The King of Cups coming up in the need to know position. So this is what do you need to know. Now, Cups again is the romance suit, right? So we've got Cups here, we've got Cups here, and we've got Cups here. Now, the King of Cups, if I show you it the other way around, the King is all about that, literally being the king, being the one that the final say stops at. This is until we get into the major arcanas. You haven't got any major cards here, but until we get to the greater or the major arcanas, we've got this element where the kings are the highest that you can go. It's the highest in the suit of cups, right? So this is an authoritative romantic energy, but also more than that, it's something where the kings are the king of cups, the kings of cups, if you like, it normally comes up when somebody is very, very romantic, has a lot of love to give, is a very warm, nurturing, loving human being, just a really nice, a really good person. And so that is coming up, but again, it is reversed. So there is something going on. It's either that it could be that he's possibly taken, or it could be that there is just this element where he's not ready for a relationship right now. He's not in that position to be able to even if he looked at you, right, my darling, and was like, oh my God, she's a hottie. Wow. Blah, blah, blah. I really want to, I want to take her out and we could go for dinner and all of this. Even if that was the case, and the doctor's like, oh, and she's so lovely, and we could do this and we could do that and we could do the other. Even if that was the case, it's like it's not a possibility for some reason right now. So I don't know what's going on in Dr. W's life, but it absolutely feels like there is a blockage here. All three of these cards coming up reversed, it almost feels like there is a boundary line. There is something here stopping it. So it could just be that he's not into you, or it could be that there is definitely something here that is causing a hard stop, if that makes sense. Now, this is the opportunity card. Now, again, if I show it this way up, I wish it came up this way up, because this would be lovely. The 10 of Cups is basically when everything has gone wonderfully well. There's a couple involved, they've got children, there's a house and a barn, and everything is wonderful, if that's the sort of relationship and the life that you want. But we've got the cups are all in the rainbow, and so there is this moment of achieving that lovely rose tinted kind of future, but again, it's come up reversed. So again, there is something here, and it's basically saying that there is a block. So whatever the doctor is feeling, there is a block, and it could be as simple as he won't date clients. So it could be as simple as that. And I know, like, technically the dog or the cat or the horse is the client, not yourself, but it could be something like that. Because again, the only card we've got upright is your qualifying card, or your clarifying card, and it's the Knight. So this is that teenage energy that where Knights always run in regardless of the consequences, right? So Knights are the type of people who you say to a Knight, don't do that because this will happen. They'll go, oh, well, I didn't know that and I've already done it. You know what I mean? So there's a real sort of dichotomy here. It feels like if you two are actually already friends, right? Because again, I don't know how well you know the doctor, but if you two are already friends and you've already got the basis of a relationship, then maybe you literally have to be that bold just to say, so then Dr. W, so then I don't know, we'll call Dr. W Will. So then Will, how come you're single? Like, why aren't you in a relationship? Or why aren't you, like an eligible bachelor like you in this day and age? It may well be that you need to ask a question like that. because there's a barrier. There's a very, very firm barrier is basically what I'm trying to say. And then, as I say, this night, it almost feels like this is kind of the heart and this is the head, if that makes sense. So yeah, I think you do need to maybe, if you're close enough to ask that question. I mean, to be honest with you, right? Hang on, let me swap cameras and let me get back on the chat page so I can actually see whether, because you could be saying, oh my God, you're completely wrong, Lisa. What the fuck are you talking about? And I wouldn't know. Right. Hang on. Chat comments. So it could be, right? Listen, I got a friend of mine hooked up at an event that I was at, right? So I was at an event, I was selling goods to raise money on a charity stall. And one of the people that was with me, one of the helpers, one of the volunteers, said to me, oh, I really like that girl over there. She's a bit all right. And I said to her, well, do you want me to go and like see if she's interested? And she was like, no, I'm shy. And then a little bit later, she said, oh, she keeps looking at me. I wonder if she's interested. And I said, look, do you want me just to go? And I said to her, I said, look, I said, right, you just stand there, don't disappear. And off I went over to the store. And I was like, excuse me. I said, come here a second. And she was like, what? I just went, I pulled her hair like that, jokingly. And I went, excuse me, my friend fancies you. Is that one over there? Oh, no. So I didn't. I said, no, my friend fancies you. And she said, who's your friend? And I said, it's the dark-haired girl over there. And she was like, oh, well, that's interesting because I've been looking at her. And I was like, well, she's single. Are you single? And she went, yeah. I said, right. If I send her over to have a chat, is that something you'd be up for? And she was like, yeah. And they've been together 4 years now. 4 years. 4 years. Maybe 5. No, 4 years. So sometimes what you need is literally just that element of saying to someone, excuse me, Dr. W, why are you single? Like, are you dating? You're not dating anymore. Why? Well, like, do you not date clients? And then maybe make the joke of, oh, well, of course you don't date clients because that would be bestiality. Maybe don't say that. Maybe that's not. Maybe that's not. Maybe that's not appropriate, but you know what I mean? You can find an appropriate way of doing it. But I think the cards, there's definitely a block here, right? There's a head heart block. So there is something here which I think just be upfront and just say, you don't have to say, look, I really want to take you out for a coffee and blah, 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 blah. You can just ask the question just as a sort of, so then, doctor, I bet you get asked all the time if you're dating. And why aren't you dating? Just something like that. You know what I mean? So yeah. Let's have a look at what you've said in the chat. How cute! What the couple? Oh, they're so lovely together. It makes me sick. I mean, it's a bit like when me and Rufus are together, and we're out and about with people. It makes me sick. It makes them sick because we're a bit sickly sometimes. Anyway, right? You don't need to know that. That makes sense. Just thought yesterday when I met him, I was getting vibes that he liked you. Could be wrong. Well, if the vibes are there, then like if you're feeling the vibes, chances are the vibes are being sent. It's just this. There is a firm barrier there, so it could be professional boundaries. It could literally be, what is it they say? Don't shit on your own doorstep, or don't shit where you eat. Is that it? I can't remember. But there's a saying something like that, which is basically saying, look, you don't mess where you work because it could get bad. And certainly with professionals, I don't know what it is with veterinarianism, but you could have this element where literally there's a professional body that says you can't really be dating your clients or the humans that are your clients' humans, if that makes sense. So yeah, it could well be that. You met him in need of your horses needing work. Oh, you've got horses. Oh, did I say about getting plastic surgery to look like a horse? I must have known. Oh, Belinda's off. You've got to go now. Thanks for shouting, Lisa. Absolutely no problem, my darling. Neil's here. Hello, Neil. But yeah, absolutely. He might be married. You didn't see a ring on his hand. I wasn't suggesting it, in honesty. I wasn't suggesting that Dr. W has a thing for his clients. I was suggesting that maybe Dr. W has a professional boundary for his human people that have the furries. No, that sounds even. You know what I mean. I don't want to say that humans own animals because I don't feel like we own our animals. We are very lucky to have our fur babies with us, and I love all three of ours and our scaly babies. So yes, your horse needs help. You hurt a tendon and he's helping your horse. Oh, you could always make him a nice coffee and then say, you know, would you like to come in for a sandwich? Or what you do is what all the 19 no, and again, this is satire. Do not do this. But what you could do is do what all those 1970s screwball comedies would do, and you know, put on something. No, don't, because that's totally, as I'm saying it, I'm like, it's so inappropriate, Lisa. Don't even suggest it. Think of all the 70s screwball comedies and don't do the things that are in those films, because you're these days you would probably be, you know, cancelled and thinged. So yeah, don't do things like that. Don't do things like that. But definitely speak to him. Anyway, Shirley, I hope that helps. I could say, do you want to make a yes, exactly. Yes, do that. Do that. Would you like to make a sandwich? I could be the filling. No, but how would that work? Because you need someone else for the sandwich, Shirley. That's a whole other kettle of fish. I mean, you know, this is going for Beyond Authentic After Dark, I'm telling you, which is going to have to be a thing one day where we do tarot readings when it's dark. It's after the watershed and we get into it. But yeah, you could say, hey, you know, would you fancy getting your mouth around my meatballs, doctor? As you're holding a giant bowl of spaghetti carbonara with some meatballs on. You could do that, couldn't you? You could do that. You could absolutely do that. Hey, doctor, would you like to get your mouth around my meatballs while you're doing the booby thing? Anyway, let's get off this subject because there's more people wanting readings, and we could just have this in a comedy way. No, honestly, we get what you mean, Shirley, but absolutely. Sometimes, you know, you've just got to ask the question and do it in a way so you're not kind of saying, hey, doctor, this is going to be completely awkward next week when you've got to come and, you know, shoe my horse or whatever he's doing. But hey, doctor, do you fancy a nookie in the stables? Like, that's not a good way of doing it. But saying something like, so then, like, you're a handsome young vet or a handsome older vet or a handsome middle-aged vet or whatever he is, like, you're a handsome vet and a doctor. Like, why are you even single? And then he'll say, oh, the reason I'm not wearing a ring is because I have to put my hand up a cow's bits and bobs to help calf them, and I, you know, after losing 4 wedding rings on a trot, that's why I now don't wear my ring. I bet it's something like that, or not, if that makes sense. But yeah, anyway, Shirley, thank you very much for your question. There is definitely a split there, but I hope that it helps. And if not, at least we've had a giggle. At least we've brought a bit of a smile to you this Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, Sunday morning. I don't know, 12:12. Is that PM or midnight or midday? Anyway, right, everybody, we keep going off tangents today. So if you would like a reading, I'm opening the list back up. So do get your question in now. Pop your question into the live chat, starting with the word question, so that I know that it's there, so that we can see it. And get yourself in. This is the time now to get in, because we've only got 9 on the stream. So if you're wanting a reading, and bearing in mind at least 3 of those people, maybe 4, are moderators tonight. So if you would like a reading, this is your best option. Get those in now. And yeah, this is how you do it. By the way, if you would like to know a little bit more about witchy covens, group workings, what a bunch of chaos magicians do when they get together, anything like that. If you would like to know about magical group work, we've just put up our podcast, the first episode of season 2 of the Beyond Authentic Witchcraft podcast. It's on this channel. There's a new button that YouTube has. It's actually look, YouTube's done something really useful for once. They've brought out a podcast button. So if you look at my channel after this, look at the channel, right, and have a look. There is a little button that says podcast. If you click on it, all of the previous podcasts and this month's one that's just been released are all on there. Now, the way the podcasts are worked, the video version, you can quite happily sit and just watch it. You just watch me and my very good friend Neil, who I've known for years. I don't even want to think how many years. Is it something like 20 years? Is it something like that? I think it's something like that. Anyway, we've known each other for ages and ages and ages, right? If you just want to watch two old friends talk and meander on about witchcraft and different type of things, then have a look at that podcast. It's designed that you can put it on in the background while you're doing the washing up or doing the ironing or anything like that, and there will be an audio only version going up on the podcast, those other platforms very soon. So if you want to watch me and Neil talk about witchy groups, covens, group practices, those sort of things that we've done in the past and what we think of them now, and answering a couple of questions that came from viewers, if you want to see that, it's up on the channel right now. Just go and click where it says podcasts. Right then, let's have a look at who we've got. For some reason, I'm really drawn. Where was it? Oh, hang on. I'm sure. Have I just had a question pop off? Hang on, I'm sure there was a. Oh, there it is. Arpita. How am I going to recognize my future spouse? Arpita. If you are. I say you are here. I know you're here. So then, I will have a little look at this for you now, my darling. So then, Arpita, how am I going to recognize my future spouse? Dragons. This is what we want to know. How is Arpita going to recognize their future spouse? So I'm going to do 3 cards, dragons, right? What we want, first of all, the first card, we want an inkling, if we can, into what they look like. That's going to be really weird, but you know what I mean. Right, we're going for it, dragons, right? We're going for it. So the first card is appearance. The second card will be what they do, maybe their job, and the third card we want to nail down what their emotions are like, so what their character is, right? So this is going to be really tough, dragons. So the first card is appearance, the second card will be employment, and the third card, stop, that's me dropping them, that's not you. It's because this deck is a lot thicker than the other one, and so because of it, it makes shuffling it just a little bit harder. You can look, if I show you the difference between the two decks. Are you ready? Look at that. See the difference? Look at the difference. It's nearly a quarter again as thick. So then, dragons, first card appearance, second card job or career, and third card is how they are in their character. That's what we'll say. Right then, so then let's have a look. Right, there we go. So I'm going to move the camera in. We're going to do your cut. And let's have a look. So for Arpita, let's have a look, my darling. Oh, a bit close to the camera then, wasn't I? There we go. A nice, simple 2/3 drop. That's good. Right then. So the first card is appearance. Okay. So we've got the 6 of Wands coming up as an appearance. So we'll look at the main person here. The main person here looks fairly young. They look quite well dressed, but again, maybe quite colorful. So I would say, again, we're looking just purely and simply here for what the cards are saying. So look out for somebody who is quite bold in their fashion sense, but also has a traditional element, but traditional with a twist. Okay, so traditional dresser with a twist, because you can see this is almost like a hobby horse. that we would call it in the UK. So it's like a pretend horse, but this blankety capey thing with the cherries is interesting. So that's, you know, one element. This is like a May what's it, oh excuse me, like a maypole. And the beginning of May, you get Morris dancers in the UK, and they have these hobby horses, and they have this sort of wreath around a maypole thing, and sometimes you get dances and that. But so this person would seem to be maybe tattooed, not necessarily so though, but somebody who is young, reasonably attractive, reasonably fit, and quite well dressed and a little bit flamboyant, right? So they like bold colors. They're not afraid of colors, not somebody that would always wear black. And then the second card was employment, wasn't it? We're going all out here. Wow, right. How am I supposed to get employment from this? I mean, they could, okay, I would immediately go families. So they are somehow employed in supporting families, right? So that could be social workers, caseworkers, anything like that, doctors, teachers. It's somebody with a strong connection to supporting families in the community, right? That's the really key bit. So they're quite young, quite attractive, snappy dresser, works in connection with families and with supporting family units. And then their emotional sense, oh, the King of Cups, very, very loving, but a little closed off. That's actually really interesting. So again, because it came up reversed, I'm not reading the others as reversed, so I'm not going to read this one as reversed either. But in terms of character, very, very loving. The kings are all about like being the epitome, the pinnacle of that suit. So we've got here the King of Cups, somebody who is very in tune with their feelings, very in tune with their emotions, very open to love, and also somebody who is maybe quite authoritative in the way they carry themselves, or they carry themselves with authority. So somebody in a position, maybe a position of power of some sort. So yeah, hopefully Arpita, this is a really interesting type of reading. I haven't done this one before like this, but this feels really interesting. So yeah, we've got this here. Look, we've got appearance wise, quite interesting, young, handsome, well dressed, bold colors. Job wise, works with families in some form of connection. So supporting families, teacher, social work, something along those lines, something where they are actively supporting families in the community. So maybe a charity worker, maybe, as I said, a teacher, something like that. But they are very, very firmly linked to this family unit and supporting family units, not their family, another family. And then finally, we've got the King of Cups. So their emotional side, very emotionally present, very emotionally drawn, quite authoritative in their character. So I would say whatever this is, they're like a project leader, or you know, a manager of this. It's not somebody at a lower level, it's somebody fairly, you know, for someone quite young, fairly high up. So they've got a little bit of authority, a leadership role, but very, very open to love, and very, very overall very, very loving. And hopefully that helps, Arpita. I don't know, I've never done a question quite like that before, but hopefully, my darling, that helps. Right, let's have a little look at the other camera. I know, right? 28 years and I've never done, well, I probably have done. I keep saying that. Do you know what I said? In fact, I was talking on the live stream just before this one. So if you don't know, the members only, we've got a members only section over here at buymeacoffee.com. We were having a hour. So we've got a pre-live live. So an hour before this goes live at 7, at 6, we do a chat over there. And it's just generally like a warm up to this. So I might do some readings. We looked at different decks that I could use tonight. We had a chat about an event that is coming up in July that a few of us are going to be attending. And we just generally chatted, right? It's a really nice, relaxed chat. We spoke to Nanette about crystals that might help for various things. So there's all sorts of bits and pieces we do. So come and join us if you're one of the members. It's a really nice chill hour, actually. But when I was there, I was talking about the fact that I've just received this week a deck, right? A tarot deck that I bought, and I didn't even know that I had it, right? I didn't know that I'd used it before, except when it turned up, I was like, oh, now I remember this deck, and it's not a deck I like or can use. But I bought it, and in my head, I was like, I don't think I've ever owned that. But I remember looking at the pictures thinking it was nice, only to then realize once it turned up, I was like, oh yeah, no, I did used to own that, and it's not the deck I thought it was. Now, what I should have done is looked online at the pictures of it and looked at line at the deck, but I didn't. Did I do that? No. Did I do my instant gratification ADHD, follow the dopamine hit by buying it instantly, paying a bit more money than I should have done, and then regretting it 5 minutes later when I looked at the deck on the line? Yes. So anyway, that was a thing. So in all that tangent to say that when I say I've never done a reading like that before, I probably have hundreds of times. In fact, there's probably like 3 weeks ago on the stream I did a reading like that. It's just that I don't bloody remember. Thank you, Ed. Ha! Thank you. My mods. Oh my God, I love you so much. I love you both so much. Look, so the mods have got rules, right? They've got to tell me when I am just rabbiting and talking shit. They have got codes. Ed pops up a couple of alarm clocks, and Patricia just says it as it is. This is why I love Patricia so much. Long-winded. Shut up. She's basically saying, get a move on. Shut up talking, you bloody mopey cow. So yeah, no worries, Uppity. I've seen your messages. Thank you. It gave you clarity. That's lovely. I hope I can help. And it reminded you of someone you've met. See, now this is the interesting one. So both me and Patricia in the chat, right? She's one of our moderators. Both me and Patricia are waiting for the excuse to buy the wedding hats. We still haven't had the wedding hat invitation yet, right? So we need to have somebody has to, as a direct result of one of these tarot readings, they have to get married so that me and Patricia can buy our wedding hats. Even if we can't attend, we'll attend by Zoom or something, just so we can wear our hats. Because at the moment, the nearest thing I've got is my beret, and it doesn't suit me. So we want to buy wedding hats. So yeah, that's what you got to. Ed's working on it. I know, right? Anyway, let's get on to the next reading. If you would like a reading, put your question in the live chat right now, starting with the word question, and I will pick one of those at random. So put your question into the live chat. Oh no, starting with the word question, and I will do that for you. Yes, I will pick one of those at random, and we will get the next reading done. Don't forget, if you want, you can always go across buymeacoffee.com/beyondauthentic, where you can donate. And if you donate, you will get a 7-card reading or a 6-card reading, depending on what we're doing. Depending on what the question is, you'll get a longer reading, and it will come up straight away. So put your question in the live chat, starting with the word question. And yeah, go ahead and do that now if you would like a reading. A bit like this. Every time I was like, I'll just grab a slurp of me coffee, and then I don't quite manage it. Right then, so put your right. I'm going to slurp coffee now. Listen, the reason why I never do it on screen normally is because I've got misophonia, so the sound of somebody drinking absolutely drives me up the wall. It's an instant rage reaction. So because I know of that, I blanket whenever anybody else whenever I'm drinking, I blanket so that nobody else has to deal with that. So again, I'm going to play this. I know you've just seen another one, but I'm going to play this. It's 20 seconds just so I can drink some coffee, and then we'll get on to the reading. Okay, I'm standing by with card cam. Let's have a look. Luhu is the first one I've just seen. Oh, Ed, you've got a question. Ed, I'll do yours separately, my darling. Message me on the Instagram, and I'll do yours separately and send it over like I was going to do. That's not a problem, my darling. So Luhu, question. Question. Every time. question. It's like every single time that goes through my head. How are you going to tell me about this? Question. Career advice. Am I in the right role, or should I consider a team move? Oh, Lou, that's a really good question. Right. Okay, let's have a look then. Let's bring the card cam up. I think we're going to use the vice versa deck, because the vice versa deck, we sometimes get really insightful with this deck, don't we? It's a really wonderful deck, this deck. In fact, our lovely Nanette has just got herself one of these decks. It's a beautiful deck. Look at the deck. So this is why I love it so much. That's the King of Cups, but that's the back of the King of Cups. Look at that. The back of the card is the back of the card. It's amazing. But also, see the difference? Nighttime, daytime, different connotations. Nice relaxed sea with a dolphin, choppier sea, different meanings. And so this gives you, instead of it being 78 cards, this deck effectively gives you 156 cards to work with. And then if you bring in reversed meanings as well, that gets doubled even more. So you're talking 312 potential meanings just by this one deck. And then when you've got different spreads, it goes even further. So yeah. Right. Dragons, Lou Who would like to know some career advice. Is Lou in the right role, or should they consider a team move? Let's have a look. Are they in the right place? Do they need to move? Let's have a look-see. Let's have, in fact, let's have, what did I want? I wanted the thing, didn't I? Yeah, let's have this. Just while we're doing a nice big shuffle. I don't think there's anything jumping off. No. So we have no clarifying cards. So then we'll just do your drop. So we know it's not the Ace of Swords in your reading. Oh. Okay. So then we've got a quite a significant drop. Are you in the right role, or should you consider a team move? Let's have a look. Right. Okay. Oh, interesting. So past, present, future in this case. So we've got the past, the Nine of Swords. Swords is trouble and strife, obstacles and challenges. So I think that there's been some challenges in the workplace where you are right now, in your position right now. It feels like there's been quite a lot of upheaval. Now, this card is really interesting for me. You can see, look, it looks very similar, doesn't it? Doesn't this look very similar? Except I don't know whether you can see a stark difference between the cards, right? So this is from the front. This is from behind. Look at this shadow. Look at the shadow figure that stood just here. So there is something here, right? So either there's somebody that you're not connecting with in the workplace, or there is trouble and strife, but there is troubles and obstacles and challenges in the workplace that you actually is so much that it's keeping you up at night. Right, because this card in a standard Rider-Waite-Smith deck, you can see that this person is lying down, and then they sit up, and these swords are going like down the road, down the card like this, and it's all of these swords are basically troubles and worries, concerns that are keeping you up at night. Now, this card's a little bit different, because as we see from this one, this person has got so much psionic energy or psychic defense and psychic energy, they are levitating the swords before they're able to cause any damage. And not only that, but they're glowing with their own energy, right? So this person, yes, there's a lot of trouble and strife, but they've got this ability to defend themselves. This way round, that is still there, but there's definitely something here, Lou, saying that where you are, there is a disconnect somehow. There is some trouble that you've been having. I don't necessarily mean like, it doesn't have to be like massive, but there are some niggles that are causing you to have sleepless nights. And I would say it's with somebody in the shadows. So somebody in the workplace that may be a little bit difficult to work with, a little bit difficult to get on with. But there is always hope in these cards, because look, you can see the dawn is coming. So even though this person's been asleep all night, the dawn is coming. So there is a little hope here. Now, in the present, we've got the Six of Wands. Now, this is, again, a really interesting card. Wands is all about your sense of security, okay? Your sense of how you know yourself, how you feel yourself, how you are confident, all of that, how you handle yourself, right? So it's your sense of security. In this case, obviously in the workplace, but we've got here that it seems that you've got maybe you're a team leader, or maybe you've got people that are on your team and there's this community element, but this card has quite a significant ... to it, because on the back you can see that this is not quite the rosy picture. Now, in your case, it's come up this way round, but you've still got to bear in mind that from a different angle, this looks very different. So in your workplace, in the team that you're in now, yes, on the surface, it looks like everybody may be getting on and may be working together as that team. However, what is happening under the surface with this card? What is still going on? And this is why I like this deck so much, because it's not just what the front of the card says, it's the influence from the back as well, particularly with a question like this, because it does feel, particularly with this shadow, that there's something else here. So maybe, again, you make all of your own decisions about your own life. Tarot is for entertainment purposes only. This is not in any way legal, financial, counseling, medical, or career advice, but there is an element here. So yes, you're able to work and celebrate as a team and as a community, but what is this shadow influence, and how come? Is this only for show? Is this just to get, team, I don't know, the red team in the workplace, magazine or whatever it is? Wow, the red team from Los Angeles won today, and they've, sold the most, I don't know, double glazed doors this month. So the red team are going to celebrate with a pizza party. Yay to the red team. You know what I mean? Whereas actually everybody on the red team is like, do you know what? We worked our asses off and all we get is a bit of bloody pizza. It's that sort of element, if that makes sense. Bear with me. I just need to clear my throat. Sorry about that. And then in the future, we've got the Knight of Cups. So this feels... the fact that you're asking this question, I think there is a team move coming on, right? And I think it's something to do with your emotions. And there's an element here, Lou, where it feels like, because the Knight is that rebellious energy, right? It's that sod it, I'm going to do it anyway. Like, you're not the boss of me. You can't tell me what to do. It's that element where somebody doesn't even know the result of their actions, and they go, oh, well, you don't know what's going to happen. And then you go, well, that's fine. And then somebody says to them, well, if you do this, that's going to, this is going to happen as a direct result. They go, oh, it's fine, I'm doing it anyway. So there is a certain amount here of, I think there's a move to follow your heart because of the cups that may not be best for your head, if that makes sense. So like in your career path, you may be thinking, right, I'm going to move to this team. And then when I'm in this team, their leader's a bit crap. So I can move up to a leadership role in this team. And then that's like a sideways move over to this team. And then I can get this promotion to work on this project. So there's like your head saying that, whereas actually your heart is saying, no, I want to work on this team here because I really like Samantha and Bob that work on it. And this is saying to follow your heart won't lead you astray. It may well be that you have to kind of be very mindful of the actions, the repercussions of your actions and what's going to happen after the effect. But if your heart is saying swap teams, and this feels right, this feels accurate, like there is some sleeplessness and a little bit of upheaval going on, and this isn't everything wonderful, everything is awesome, this sort of feeling of yay, but it isn't, but it is. If that's what's going on, then absolutely, if moving makes sense to you, and if that is following your heart, then absolutely go for it. Dragons, I want a definitive card, one definitive card. I'm going to choose it from the middle of the pack, and I want to know in a very straightforward yes or no. Should Lou move team? Yes or no, right? And we will take a reversal as no, an upright is yes, but also no, we're not. No, we'll take it on the card, the meaning of the card, right? Just so lay it out. We're going to do it on the meaning of the card. So let's do your drop a very specific. Hang on, is it going again? It's going. I can feel it. It's sliding down my thumb. There you go. And we've got. I'm not looking. I'm having to stare at the other camera. What have we got? The 10 of Pentacles. Oh, so lots of workplace, lots of, oh God, that really doesn't help. It's a power card. It's a card that is talking about getting to the end of that workplace. I would say this is talking about going where you are most comfortable, where you are most, going where your heart leads you, because at the end of the day, it feels like you're going to be there for a while. So absolutely, this seems to say, if the reason you're asking the question is because your heart is telling you to move teams, then move teams. Absolutely, 100% move teams. Because this would be like a longer term fit in that team, if that makes sense, Lou. It feels like that is the right answer for you. These two both feel a little bit negative. That's sort of staying where you are. These two moving on feel a more positive option for you. I hope that helps, my darling. I don't know what it is you do for a job, so I don't know whether any of that makes any sense. Obviously, we've never had conversations about your work life before, but hopefully that helps. And yeah, it's been a tumultuous 18 months. Follow your heart. Oh, so it has been. Is that right then? That 9 of Swords, is that accurate? Oh, my darling. Oh, it's horrible when you're working somewhere and you obviously need to pay your bills and your mortgage and your rates and all of that. And you need to kind of keep a job to keep food on the table. It's really horrible to be in a workplace environment that isn't supportive, isn't it? I've been there, done that, bought the t-shirt many times. In fact, I had to buy the t-shirt because it was part of the uniform. You know what I mean? I've been in that situation many a time. It's awful. I wish you nothing but the very, very best, my darling. I really do. Keep an eye out. Coming up in maybe, I don't think it'll be this week, it'll probably be next week. I'm going to have the start of some more witchy workings. So I'm going to do witchy work, which is basically my way of saying spells, because spells always makes me feel like Harry Potter, and I hate Harry Potter. But we're going to do some witchy workings, and one of those is going to be on career advancement. So yes, hopefully that will help. But anyway, thank you so much for your question. And again, I really hope that helps. Yeah, I love the fact the chat is just having this wonderful conversation all about everything. Oh, look, it's all so lovely. Oh, right then. Good luck, Lou. All the very best, says Patricia. Yeah, absolutely. Right then, I've got, so let's go again. If you would like a reading, we've got 20 minutes left, just under 20 minutes. If you would like a reading, I've probably got room for 2 more. If I don't go long-winded, I could probably get 3 in. But anyway, we can get 2, definitely. So if you would like a reading, do please pop your question into the live stream, starting with the word question. That way it will be I'll be able to see it. Then I'm going to pick one of those at random. And yeah, we will do that for you. Don't forget, though, everybody, I have been known occasionally to use interesting language.
YouTube tarot reader Lisa Lee has been found using bad language during her twice weekly live streams. In a shocking turn of events, it has also been discovered that she will not tell you what you want to hear, only what you need to know. The internet is in collective shock that authenticity is alive and well in this corner of the YouTube meta space. Do not watch if you are easily offended.
I know, who would have thought it? I mean, I've never sworn ever. I don't know what was said. Anyway, don't forget, if you would like a fucking reading, do please put your question in the live chat right now. I don't know what's happening to my voice. My voice is going. I know Rufus is praying in there. He's calling on all the old gods and the new of every denomination in every faith imaginable, going, please make her voice go just for today. I'll be surprised if it lasts the stream. I know, right? But if you would like a reading, do please listen to me. If you would like a reading, do please pop your question in the live chat right now, starting with the word question. I'm going to pull it after this. I'm going to try and clear my throat. Listen to me. What's going on? Okay, I've got Flower Beauty in the chat. Flower Beauty in the chat. Shivani, I've seen your question. Hang around because I will try and get to it because I think your question needs answering. I've just seen what it was. I will try and get to it, my darling. Oh, yeah, thank you, Patricia. I've just seen it. It's just popped up. So Flower Beauty, I'll do yours, and then Shivani, I'll get to you, my darling. Okay, so don't go anywhere, Shivani. Right, Flower Beauty. What steps should I take to get over him, and why am I so attracted to him? Oh, who is it? Dua Lipa. Dua Lipa's song, New Rules. I got new rules, I tell them. 1, don't pick up the phone. You know he's only calling because he's drunk and alone. 2, don't let him in. Don't be his friend. You'll have to kick him out again. 3, no. Yeah, anyway. 3, don't be his friend. You know you're going to wake up in his bed in the morning. And when you're under him, you ain't getting over him. Got new rules, I tell him. Right, there's something in that song. I know, right? I've just sung, again, on camera, with my voice and everything. But there is something in that song that is very, very true. Like, you can be attracted to people. Just because somebody is an asshole doesn't stop you being attracted to them. Sometimes it can, but if you're attracted to someone, that attraction is just a thing, right? It's a thing in your brain. It's a bit like, I shouldn't have gluten or dairy, right? Should not have those things. But you put me in a shop on a warm day with, you put me in a cafe, sorry, or a nice little coffee shop with a nice coffee and a cream bun, I might just have to partake. I can't have the gluten in the bun and I can't have the dairy in the cream, but there's something about it that makes me go, oh, look at that. Oh, a creamy Claire. Oh, I know it's like poison to me. It will affect me really badly. My system will regret it in the space of probably an hour. I'll be very poorly. But there is still something there that you want because we're programmed to find certain things attractive. Same with people, right? So I'm going to do you a very quick poll, but the answer is basically, remember why you're needing to get over him. Remember what he's done, and then just try and think of all the things that he does that where he's not attractive. So, did he wear socks in bed? Did he, I don't know. Did he have one random nose hair that dangled like this? Did he have, one, whatever, like a sixth toe, whatever it is? Like, find something that you can hang on to and just go, oh yeah, he's attractive, and hang on to that but, right? Let's do you a quick poll. So then, dragons, our lovely Flower Beauty, who's becoming a lovely regular on this channel. So she knows all about the dragons, does Flower Beauty. But Flower Beauty would like a reading. So Flower Beauty would like to know, how do I get over him? And why am I still attracted to him? So then let's have a look, dragons. That's what we would like to cover. So I'm going to do you a today what you need to know reading, if that makes sense, right? So then here we go, Wispy. I'm playing Wispy's music. Wispy is our air dragon. Wispy's got a lot of love on this channel in the past, but recently, poor little Wispy gets left behind. Oh. So yeah, if you don't know, if you imagine Falcor from the Never-Ending Story, but made out of wisps of smoke and clouds and fluff and all of those wispy elements, that is what our lovely Wispy is made out of. An air elemental in the form of a dragon. Right then, is that it? Is that it? That's it, right? Okay, so you today, what you need to know, opportunities. Let's go. Let's go. So we've got this, the 7 of Cups coming up. So interesting. The 7 of Cups. So this is where you are today, right? So Cups is your emotional suit. So that is really talking about having this element where you are, where there are gifts and things being offered, but also the 7 is about things being taken away. So in terms of a romantic energy, this is really talking about, look, there are lots of things being offered, but they all come with a catch. So there is always a catch. Each one of these cups is supposed to be filled with different wondrous things, but there is something going on here. Look, there is the face making some choices, making some decisions, and also being a manipulator behind the scenes. So this Seven of Cups is talking about things being taken out of that relationship, even though on the surface there's lots of giving and lots of things being offered. It feels very much like it's a bit of a give with one hand, take with the other, you know what I mean? So it doesn't feel like this is a genuine kind of element, and this is where you are now. So it feels like, again, you are kind of, I think what it is, right? I think let's put it this way, Flower Beauty. And again, you've been around on this channel long enough for me to absolutely not sugarcoat or anything else, right? I think that you are looking at the good points of this relationship and the fact that you're attracted to him and going, oh, I really want this. I really want this. Oh, I really want him. He's really lovely. Oh, yes, I want that. But you're forgetting this negative element, right? Because the Seven of Cups, sevens are so much between this. There is a positive here, but things are being taken, things are being stolen, things are being removed. And it's like, where are the gifts from this glowing cups? Where are the wonderful glowing energy gifts? Is the only gift the cup itself? Well, that's a bit crap. So there's something here saying about where you are today. I think it's almost like 2020 rose tinted glasses, if you know. Excuse me, if you know what I mean, because you can see here, look, this is from the opposite side, and this side is even scarier because this person has no pupils. But yeah, so that's where you are today. What you need to know, look at this, the Four of Cups, but this is a dark card. So the Four of Cups, look at this. Either way round, the cups have been spilt, right? This is what you need to know. That cup energy, that romance energy is gone. The cups have been spilt. That energy has flown into the ground. It's been absorbed. It is gone. It's no longer there. So this is really important. When you're talking about how do you get over him, you really need to remember the fact that these cups that held all of that positive emotion have now gone, if that makes sense. And this further element of look how, hang on, there we go. Look how withdrawn and sad this person is on their own, very grey, quite distraught, staring at the cups like in disbelief. Oh my God, this is ended. It is all gone. Fours are normally really positive cards. They're talking about stability. They're talking about like the four legs of a table, the four legs of a chair. They're talking about that stability. So for this to be coming up here with what you need to know, it's like, this is gone. This is absolutely gone, Flower Beauty. And when you're saying, what steps should I do to get over him? Just remember that love is gone. That actual emotion has gone. There may still be the lust because, you know, damn, we're only human, aren't we? And if you see somebody and you think, they're a bit sexy, you know what I mean? You're going to feel that. And especially if you've had a taste of that, if you get my drift, you know what I mean? You've maybe been close with this person, you still find them sexy, you still kind of look at them and go, ooh, hi, ooh. It still has that reaction, even though all of that positive, loving energy is gone. And then finally, the opportunity card, we've got the Four of Swords. So two fours coming up one after the other. This is showing instability. This is showing there is stability here, but the stability is in the obstacles and challenges suit. And because of it, look at this person who is asleep, right? These swords are no longer causing trouble because this person is now made peace with them and they've been able to move on. So this is saying for you, this is your opportunity with these four cups being emptied and the emotional connection being fucked off and no longer being there from him. This is your ability to take each one of these cups, turn them into swords, and just have them there. Just control them, put them on the wall, and just remember, this is your obstacle. Your challenge is to look at him without feeling this, right? So this is really important, Flower Beauty. You look at him and you go, "Whoa," but he's an arsehole. So I can look at him, but that's all. You know what I mean? It's a bit like if you look at a pop star or somebody famous and then you find out that they're actually a piece of shit. It's like, yeah, they're still attractive, but they're a piece of shit. You're not going to want to be with them. So that's what this is saying. Look, right? Take these metaphorical cups, turn them into swords, turn these in. The fact that these are empty should be enough of an obstacle. This should be enough. here for you to say, do you know what? No, 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 no. Hopefully that makes sense, my darling. Hopefully that makes sense. Just remember, all of this negativity, all of this bad feeling, right? That is enough of an obstacle. That's what you need to get over him. That's what you need to remember. And with that, my darling, I'm going to say thank you very much for your question. And I'm going to move on to the lovely Shivani. Right, Shivani, I've got your question up. By the way, everybody, I can't take any more questions now, I'm afraid. If you've asked a question in the chat today and you didn't get your question answered on the live stream, you can always go across just up here to buymeacoffee.com/Beyond Authentic, where you can, in fact, buy me a coffee, but you can also go and book a reading. Or you go to my website, which is www.beyondauthentic.co.uk, and there's details there about how you can book a reading as well. So if you would like to, that address is just there on screen. I'm going to take the banner off now because we can't get any more questions. Unfortunately, we are out of time. But I do have Shivani's question in. I'm just trying to find where it went. Here we go. So then let's have a look. Shivani. Okay, so then, dragons, Shivani would like to know, again, I'm using this same deck, I don't know why, but Shivani says, my parents are forcing me for an arranged marriage and I'm not yet ready for it. Could you let me know what is next? Right then, let's have a look. So then, Shivani, we're going to try and get some sort of, let's see what's, wow, hang on, that card flew across the room, which you'll know by now. Hang on a second, that's my head. There we go. You'll know by now is a sure sign of wispy energy. So thank you, Wispy. That is our clarifying card. We've got the 3 of Pentacles. Oh, gosh. So then the question is, which way did it land? It was, I think it was this way up. So the 3 of Pentacles, this is talking about learning. So this is talking about education. So this is a possible way out. Kind of going to college and going, oh, I can't get married because I need to go to college. Bye. But this is talking about, so Pentacles is about work, money, career, finances. Now, normally for me, the 3s represent education. So we've got, you know, like scholarly education here with the monks, which represent reading and writing, because that was the only people that could. We've got tradesman's type education here, because again, it's somebody learning a craft, like a apprenticeship. And then here we've got a different form of book learning. So this is more religious. This looks more to be retail based, if that makes sense. So there's something here which is basically saying about you know, maybe finding a way either through work or college to actually move beyond the scope of being in an arranged relationship. So yeah, let's just have a little look. See, right. So I'm going to do your drop. Once one of the cards flips, as you know, we stop and we do the drop. Okay, and we'll do the you today, what you need to know, what the opportunity is. So you today, what you need to know, and the opportunity. Right, let's have a look. So where you are today, we've got the Magician. So actually, I think you've got, there is still an opportunity here to really move forward in a way. The Magician is all about you being able to control the elements and to control your future, control your own destiny. It's saying you've got the tools at hand already to do that. So you've got things like you've got the cup here, the pentacle, you can see the wand here in the background, and you can see the sword lying across. So you've got these four tools of the tarot deck. You've also got a shooting star, and you've got a wand which is actually glowing at both ends. So you've got this, and you've got the infinity symbol here. So there's lots of symbology about this really good sort of ability for you to move forward and control your own life. But I also know that in terms of culturally, like, quite often that isn't possible. So if they're forcing you into it, it's going to be really difficult for you. So, but I don't know quite how to put it, but it feels like there is a way out. It's it just might not be something that you're wanting to do. It may be, you know, having to separate from family and things like that. But what you need to know now, again, this is why that feels like it's coming up, because it feels very much like, again, the emotions, the love, it feels like that is going to be endangered no matter what happens from here. Like if you go through this arranged marriage, then you're going to be unhappy and you're going to blame your parents. If you don't do it, they're going to be unhappy. There's going to be, you know, spilt milk either way. Somebody's not going to be happy with this arrangement. So it does really, it does really feel like there's, although you've got the ability here to turn around and say, no, I'm just not going to do it. It's like, what repercussions would that have? I honestly think talking to them and saying, look, I'm not ready. Like, I'm not ready for this. This is not, like, no, I am not ready for this. You know, give me another year, 2, 3, whatever it is that you feel you need. Because otherwise I think there is going to be this separation, and it is going to be really, really difficult, because these cups are empty, like we've just had with Flower Beauty when this card came up. It's like they have been empty. This is it. There is nothing left here to pick up. And if you're not careful, that's what it feels like. That's what's going to happen with the family, particularly because, again, we've got this study, or it really feels, if there's any way, Shivani, that you can, you know, extend a college course or extend a uni course, or, you know, find some sort of work related thing that you go, oh, I've got to go and do this now, so I can't get married because I'm going to go and study something. If there's anything like that, really look into it, because this is really screaming at me. And then the opportunity. Now, this is a really weird opportunity card coming up in this position for this question, right? It's the Empress, which is my favorite card of all time. But this would be talking about this. And it would be basically saying, look, this is your opportunity to be the nurturer, the Earth Mother. And yeah, so that's what this, like, it also could mean that it's the opportunity for you to be your own boss. But the problem with that is I don't know how much you rely on your family culturally, and how much you rely on them financially and for support. And so there is this real element. It really feels, right? It really feels like, look, in theory, you've got the ability to say no, right? You are in control of your own life, in theory. However, the reality feels very different. And the reality feels like, whatever happens, if you are forced into it, you're going to be miserable. And if you turn around to them and say, I'm not doing it, it feels like they will be miserable. Do you know what I mean? So it feels like either way, you've got to just, I think personally, I think you've got to keep having this conversation with them, and just say to them, look, like, I'm not I don't know, I'm not ready for this yet. And actually, you know, there's things I want to do. And listen, I could go off and do all these things, but actually I want to be, you know, respectful to you as my parents, and I want to honor it, but I'm just not there yet. I'm just not ready yet. And to even sort of say to them, you know, that, look, if you do force you, then you're going to be miserable. The relationship isn't going to last. You know, it's going to be ending in divorce or whatever. And that's just not, like, why put everybody through that? Let's just not do it in the first place. But this coming up is also maybe suggesting that, look, oh, and I've got to say it because the cards are screaming at me. So this is basically saying, Shivani, listen, you may not feel ready, right? You may not feel ready, but if you went down that road, right, the opportunity here would be to become the boss, you know, the mother of a family unit and all of this, to become the matriarch, to be able to, you know, have that thing that everybody's supposed to want, if that makes sense. Now, I've never particularly wanted, you know, kids and things like that, which is lucky for me, Rufus, because that was never on our on either of our cards. you know, that was never an option for us. So for me, I've always said I'll be the best auntie in the world, but I can't be, you know, I just don't ever want to be a parent. And that's stayed very much now into my mid 40s, when it's too late for any of that business anyway. But this is really this it's like, I don't want to even say this, but it really is saying, like, look, this could be a really good opportunity, and actually you could still do all the things that you want to do, but in a committed relationship. And actually it depends on kind of the person you end up marrying, you know what I mean? But I do think that it feels very much like this opportunity. Again, I could be wrong. It could be the other side of the Empress, where you've got the opportunity, you've got the ability almost to actually step outside and become your own goddess, because that is what the Empress is. She is the embodiment of the goddess. So it could well be that, you know, you have to go through. So listen, right? Listen, between you and me, this can go two ways, right? This can go two ways. Let me turn everything off, because this is important, right? So this could be saying, oh God, that you could be your own boss with this, right? But in so doing, and this could, like, literally, you can be your own boss, you can go out on your own, sod what your parents think, but you live your life as you feel fit. But that would be the sacrifice. There would be losing that familial relationship, so losing that parental support, right? But it may be that this is more important. It may well be that actually having your own independence is more important, and that hopefully at some point your family will come round, or and then that would lead you to this being your inner goddess, your strength, you know, your Empress, where you are the one that makes all those decisions. But you have to go through this heartache bit in the middle. Or it's saying that, yes, at the moment you can be your own boss, and although the heartache is going to come because of the marriage, because you don't feel ready for it, but actually the opportunity here is for you to have the marriage and the kids and the family, and to live that life. And it can go either way. So there's nothing here, unfortunately, that is going to give you a clear answer, except for what is in your heart. What is your heart telling you? If being the loyal daughter and doing what your parents expect, if that is more important, and you are willing to give up your own independence to carry out your parents' wishes, then you've got to make peace with this feeling of losing that element of you, right? Losing what your heart is telling you. If you do that, then, you know, you can still live a very happy life, but that means following what your parents say, or going completely against them, saying you're not going to have an arranged marriage at this point, maybe in 5-10 years time, but at this point you're not in that position, in which case this heartache is between the relationship with you and your family, because it will cause that element of separation. But then you're off being your own person anyway. So it absolutely depends, my darling, on how much this is an issue for you, right? If it's something that is untenable, if marrying at this point is completely untenable, and your parents absolutely insist that there is no other option, and if you disappoint them, you will be cast off, then that may be the only path for you to go down, in which case you become your own goddess, and you know, have to strike out completely independent. If, however, that thought is worse than getting married, then marriage is the option. Unless there is a way out through college or education. That is the only glimmer of hope that I can see, that doesn't end up with either you or your parents being really distraught emotionally through this. And I really wish I could give you, I really wish I could give you better news. I really, really do, my darling. But it feels like there is it feels like you're damned if you do and damned if you don't, really. It feels like if you end up getting married and you're not ready, then it's going to go badly because you don't want to be in that marriage in the first place, which means, you know, even with the best will in the world at that point, you know, what's going to happen if you don't want to be there, you know. But if you go fully independent, then it's that situation where you're going to have to kind of end up not being with your family support, and again, you're the only one who can make that decision, my darling. But I hope that whatever I've talked about, I hope it gives you some sort of idea of where you are. Renata, oh my good lord, good evening, Renata. We're just ending. Hello, my darling. It does depend on the magician, but that is the interpretation that the cards are giving me while I was doing the reading, my darling. Wow, haven't seen you in ages, Renata. I tried finding you on the YouTube and I don't know whether, not the YouTube, the Facebook. I don't know whether you're even on the Facebook anymore because it's the last message I had from you. It says user no longer, whatever it is, you know, where the picture's gone. But yeah, anyway, I hope you're well, my darling. Drop me a message if you're still on the socials. And I do hope you're well, but we've got to go. That's literally, we're just off. But anyway, thank you ever so much, everybody, for your questions. I hope that helps, my darling. Shivani, I really, really do. But yes, thank you very much for your questions. And thank you to everybody that's joined me tonight. It's been a good session. My voice is just about held out. So yes, just about held out. But don't forget, everyone, go and check out the podcast that me and the lovely Necro Neil put together for you. That was up this week, just gone, on the channel, talking about witchy groups, covens, group working, what a whole bunch of chaos mages do when they're together, the IoT and all sorts of bits and pieces like that. So if you want to watch that, you can just put it on in the background if you want and listen to us. We've got a couple of new segments in there for the season 2. But also there is a video of me unboxing this here play button, and there is the video where I open up the witch casket box. That was the one, unboxing the witch casket. So yes, all of those are on the channel, so if you want to have a look at that, please do. Yeah, let us know, Shivani, let us know what happens. Nanette's channel, yes you can, my darling. Can you ask something before you go off? Yes you can, but be quick because my dinner's ready and I need to go and eat dinner because I'm starving. It's 9 o'clock in the evening, 11 minutes past 9 in the evening, and I haven't had dinner yet, so I need to go and eat something. Oh no, thank you to everybody. Oh, thank you, Patricia. It's you. I couldn't do it without all of you mods. I couldn't do it without the mods. I really, really couldn't. You're all a bunch of amazing people. Yeah, fingers crossed, Shivani, but honestly, look into education somehow. Look into that education. There's something there. Nanette, be quick, my darling, be quick, because I need to end the stream. It's just, I know, everybody. Don't forget though, there is all sorts coming up on the channel. Oh, and also the video coming up for this week, I've got an unboxing. I was sent a whole load of hang on, you, not I. What? Yes, you can, Nanette. But be quick, Nanette. Put the question in the doodah. Put the question in the doodah quick, because I need to end the stream. But there is an unboxing coming up, everybody. The lovely Patricia here in the chat, one of our mods, she sent me a goodie box of tarot decks and all sorts of wonderful decks. So have a look at that. It's going up this week. Make sure you've hit that subscribe button, and also make sure you've hit the bell so that YouTube notifies you each and every time I upload a video. Nanette, if you don't put it in now, I'm going to have to end the stream, my darling, because this like, we've gone way over time. But thank you, everybody, for joining tonight. We're just waiting on Nanette's comment. Just waiting on it. Will you show your shirt? I don't have a shirt. It's a dress. It's just a tie-dye. It's just a tie-dye dress. Yeah, it's just a purple tie-dye dress. That's all it is. And now I've pulled it up. It's all crinkled over my boobs. And I had to put a t-shirt on underneath because the sun today was so hot I would burn without it. So that's why I am wearing this. But anyway, thank you very much, everybody, for coming on the stream. Rufus has just come to find out where I am because dinner's ready. So I will love you all and leave you all and say thank you ever so much for joining me. Don't forget, next live on Tuesday evening, 7 p.m. UK time. And I may well do the coffee and makeup, like get ready with me thing over on the other channel this week and talk a bit about Slimming World and why we're back. So yeah, maybe look out for that. Not promising, but look out for that. But that is going to be it from me, everybody. Thanks so much for being here. Thank you to the mods and thank you for joining me tonight's stream. I will see you again. And as I always say, stay you, stay true, stay authentic, and I'll definitely see you next time. Bye-bye. Renata, message me. Bye, everybody. Bye-bye.